So things are about to get fun because we're going to talk about hormones. So we have acidic chyme is full of fats and proteins entering the small intestine. We've already talked about what hormones are produced in the small intestine in response to that. Let's review that and tell you what else these hormones do. So we have some stimuli, stimulus, there's two of them, proteins and fats. This is located, what we're talking about is in the duodenum. So proteins and fats in the duodenum, acidic chyme, I'll put in chyme. These two stimuli are going to cause the release of what two hormones? I'm going to do each of these hormones in a different color. Why not? Okay, first of all, we have cholecystokinin, CCK. I'm going to do each step in a different color. Our two hormones are going to be in pink. The acidic chyme is going to trigger secretin. Secretin, I did it right. These hormones are released from intestinal cells, right? Remember, CCK is released from I cells in the intestinal glands of the duodenum. Secretin is released from S cells in the intestinal glands of the duodenum. These two hormones are going to do multiple things, as hormones often do. One thing they're going to do is go back to our stomach to inhibit gastric activity. This is our gastric intestinal phase of gastric activity, where we turn off parietal cells, chief cells, etc., to decrease the production of stomach contents and decrease chyme coming through into the duodenum. So this is turning off here. We also have a stimulation of activities that are going to promote digestion in the small intestine. Does that make sense why we want to do that? I hope so. What do we need to have happen in the small intestine? A lot. One thing we have is going to be gallbladder contractions. Why? So we can release bile into the small intestine. Along with that, same idea, hepatopancreatic sphincter. What do you think it's going to do? Opening, relaxation. Relaxation is going to promote opening. We also have acinar cell secretion. What do those things secrete? Digestive enzymes from the pancreas. Pancreatic enzymes. So pancreas activated, gallbladder activated, sphincter open. Great. That's good stuff. Secretin, I don't know. It's going to promote, so this is positive things here, plus bile release. So from the liver and gallbladder, as well as pancreatic secretion of buffers. So the pancreatic juices, what is this? HCO3, bicarbonate. Let's do this again with the anatomy in place. So you'll see my little key down here. CCK is red, secretin is yellow. A lot of times they're both together, right? But there's a couple differences here. So the stimulus is going to be a little different for the two. Where we're going to start here, we're starting right here. This is our start. And we've got, what am I doing first? CCK is released, and that is in the cells of the glands of the duodenum in response to fats and proteins in the chyme. Is the stimulus for that. Secretin is released from intestinal glands as well. That's in response to a low pH. Here are those endocrine cells, S and I cells, that release those hormones. They're hormones going into the bloodstream. That's what hormones do. All right, we've got the stimulus. CCK is going to enter the bloodstream and is going to target first the pancreas. So at the pancreas, we've got, CCK first, that's what I said. Let me change my color. At the pancreas, pancreatic enzymes are going to be released from the acinar cells. Yep. Then we've also, at the pancreas, got bicarbonate release. These are released together as pancreatic secretions. Regulated by two different hormones. Kind of cool. The vagus nerve also acts to mildly stimulate this. Is it going to increase or decrease, do you think? Pancreatic secretion release, the vagus nerve. It's going to increase that. That happens in the cephalic and gastric phase to start those pancreatic juices flowing before the actual chyme stimulus has arrived. Okay, what's happening here? Here is our duct that's coming into the small intestine. So to get that to open, we've got the hepatopancreatic sphincter. I think I finally learned how to spell that. Opens. CCK triggers this. So now bile juice and pancreatic juice can enter the duodenum, which is super convenient. All right, continuing, and actually, this is actually the last thing if you're thinking about flow. These are all kind of happening together. I'm going to number these though in a minute. Before the sphincter released, we had to have bile secretion and gallbladder release. So here we've got secretin triggering bile secretion from the liver. The other thing that's actually doing this is bile salts returning from circulation and stimulating this as well. Then we've got CCK's job in terms of bile is going to be gallbladder contractions, causing bile ejection, right? Vagus nerve also weakly stimulates this in those earlier phases. So we do have those, the pancreatic and gallbladder responses beginning as soon as we start thinking about food, just a little bit. So this is number one, we had start. Two is really both this and this at the same time, but we'll do 3, 2, 3, 4, and 5.